Good girl. Stop there. Stop there. And wait. Good girl. Stop there. No, you're okay. You're a good girl. Hello, Mum. You got a Joey. She's got a Joey. That seems very early, but what would I know about kangaroos and them breeding habits? Das musste aber langsam reichen. Ja? Musste aber langsam reichen. Ja. Always good when you put the gloves on the correct hand and up in there. So there's a pub up here on the corner called the Red Cattle Dog. I got a photo of Tilly out the front, of course. Just there. The Red Dog Bistro. Hey, what more can a young fellow want? By the living scissors, Polly. Fair dinkum. You know, Australia. Well, I was going to say Australia's got to have the roughest roads in the world, but I have seen some pretty rough ones in Russia and stuff. James would attest to that. When he did some motorcycling over there. You know, there's twice I've done that. I was thinking about going to see Sharon and Bruce and Rachel, but I just think we'll go home. You can stop. You can stop now. Stop shaking your head now. It's like living with your mother-in-law, isn't it? Always shaking their heads. Actually, my mother-in-laws over the years, there's been two of them, have been pretty good, really. Let's have a look. We'll get a spanner out while we're here. Get a spanner out while we're here and fix these mirrors a bit, eh? Alright, Tilly. You stop there and behave. Mind the gap. I've never seen that before in Australia. Here we are, Condobolin. Presumably it still functions as a railway station. I mean, there are trains come through here. Hey, Tilly, get out of there. trains, passenger trains, you know, come through Yarrabandi, and they can only come along this line, so I'm guessing they stop at Condo. Those trains actually go Parks to Broken Hill, I think it is, a couple of days a week. So yeah, here we are with the city panniers back on. I think they're much more aesthetically appealing, just a little bit cleaner lines. As if like this is a good looking motorcycle. Mind you, it's all in the eye of the holder, isn't it? Enough. Quick look at the station. It's a station, isn't it? Time to go home. Don't want to run over them, I don't suppose. Tank traps. Okay, so we've adjusted the mirrors. I've tightened them up, I should say. And now they're not pointing anywhere interesting at all. You young kiddies. Kiddies on their chook chasers. Coppers, look at you young kids. That's better. A rough idea where we're going, or where we've been, I should say. So yeah, I've got no merit plug sockets that function on this bike. This one here has got no wiring going anywhere, and the one that fits down onto the ignition coil cover, all the wiring's there, but it's not doing anything. So I thought, oh yeah, I'd like to get one of them, at least one of them functioning. This one here will take a bit more than I can do without looking up how to do it. And I'll have to wire it up completely, sort of thing, you know. Yeah, fuck you too. Very much. Go off into the bush, will we? So oh, we got wildflowers, flowers coming out, and a horse amongst the sheep. Oh, scheiße, y'all. So anyway, a quick check of the test light showed there's actually power getting to the one on the coil thing, but the socket itself has had it. It's corroded and whatnot. So I got a spare, so I'll just replace it, and that should fix that problem. So at least I'll be able to, you know, charge my phone or plug in a GPS or whatever. The GPS is pretty useless in some respects out here, you know, but galahs, eh? But they can be handy if they have a GPS speedo on them, and just for, you know, an extra odometer and stuff, you know, for your trip meter, whatnot. So we'll see. Actually, I don't know. Apart from the big one, the big-ish one, the Garmin that I use in the car for long trips, I don't know whether I've got one on them for a motorcycle that works anymore. I don't know. Might have to buy one, or maybe just get a quad lock and use my phone. You know, I can even use it to charge up my knee on my prosthetic leg. As a, you have to charge. I have to charge the knee every night. It makes it sound like it does stuff. I mean, it does stuff, but it doesn't drive me. You know, like it's not like having a leg that does the work for you or anything. plenty of trucks today. I suppose it's a Wednesday. Now, James, if you're watching this, I've been watching a few of the old videos on your channel lately, just because I enjoyed them in the past, you know. The unreal adventure with those Aussie young fellas who get those couple of outfits and ride them, you know, across west to east kind of thing. I kind of enjoy them. I wish there was more actual motorcycle riding, you know, a sidecar riding. But I also have watched a couple of your older ones as well, like the ones when you're in Russia doing those really long trips. I kind of like that though. And I watched the one where you did the 4th of July thing and rode all your outfits. It always makes me think I'd like to see you out on the Harley a bit more. Hint, hint. Look at that, a sign that actually says there are kangaroos. And there are, of course. what I mean? Got him. Oh, Guthrie Road, eh? Yeah, we should go through Luther just for a sticky V. Haven't been along here for a little while. I wonder where that road actually goes. I actually don't know. Oh, and presumably what it'll do is meet up, you know, with that Darrawong Road around that area on the way over towards Fifield that way. Soon becomes dirt. Luther Road, eh? Ringwood Road, Mel Guthrie, 14, eh? It's supposed to be good fishing down Mel Guthrie. We went through Mel Guthrie actually the other weekend, didn't we? On that road from Bajarabong into Condo. Get up in there. You know, you're a very noisy dog, Tilly. I realise, you know, that you probably have heard that from me before. Oh no, we had to go that way. What am I doing? This is a service road, so we need to go back to that road. I think. Hey, sharp as a bowling ball is me. Silos. Another one that's not used anymore. They may well be full of stuff being stored. What kind of speed limit is that? Can't read a thing. A dang thing. It's funny, you know, like Darrawong back there and Uther here, you know, which are still being, you know, lived in, and I don't know how many people live here, but there's a few. Uther Motors, that is also going to be part of the film set, apparently. Shake your head. You'd be flat out getting up to 100 here before you got to turn off. It's a shame about this dump here that I can't use it. It's about, you know, 10 k's closer to my place than the one I'm allowed to use. But this is, I think this is Lachlanshire, and I'm in Parkshire. Alright, darling, stop carrying on. I mean the motorbike this time and not the dog. Green, how green was my cactus? Found a couple of instrument pods. I think I said this actually the other day. I might try one or two of them, see if the clock works. I'm still not happy with the lighting in this one, which is a shame because I thought being LEDs they go, well, maybe there's, you just get the feeling there's like a globe missing or something. Maybe there is, I don't know. It's interesting, these ones, the lighting is green, which is not that common. And on the Triumph it was actually orange. They're mostly just sort of a yellow, you know. But the old green lighting reminds me of the old Z900s. They had that as well. The old Triumphs and Nortons didn't have much in the way of lighting at all. If you're riding them too far after dark, you were foolish anyway. Oh, actually, my later 750s, the 79 and the 81, they had regular instruments and a regular instrument pod. And they weren't too bad. The older ones, the old Smiths and stuff, and the 650s didn't have anything. train's still there. Unusual, might be a problem, broken down or something. Well, that's right. I said I was going to go and see young Craig, my next door neighbour. He came past the other day and stopped for a say hello, and we're talking about. He's asked me whether I was warm enough, you know, whether I've got a fireplace and stuff, which I don't. I ripped the old one out because it was fucked. But he's talking about, he's a gun welder, this guy, and a fabricator, and he's got lots of stuff. He's got a big shed over there, is set up with a foundry and all kinds of stuff in there. And anyway, he said he's got some old truck rims, and he can make me up a little pot belly, which, you know, isn't a bad idea. I put it in the kitchen with the old fuel stove, which is pretty much not repairable. I put it in the kitchen and it'll sit nicely in there, and we'll take the chill off the house, but not be too hot in the sitting room. And if later on, if I want to, I can put a wood burner in the whoops, that'll be first then. Where is he, the young fella? There he is, over there. There you go, mate. You look like an old... Stop. You look like an old pommy shop steward with that apron and stuff on. If you say, alright lads, we're all on fucking strike.